Hello everyone. Last week we learned about testing or basically harnessing the request response. Today we are going to learn about observability. So basically trying to figure out the log, what our system is doing, what API calls are doing, all those kind of metrics. We'll start simple. We'll do multi-part for this one. So if you can look at the browser, I have already set this up. I'll show you changes required for this one. So basically there are actuators, and then today we're going to look at the health, right? So this says okay, system is good, and then metrics. So the metrics, right, this has all the metrics of our system, JVMs, Gen AI clients, all those informations are here that we can look and optimize with. Basically today we'll just look into some of the AI stuff that we are doing. This works with non-AI applications as well, but we are learning about AI stuff. We are trying to understand what are the metrics are possible. I'll show you a few of the matrices, and then I'll show what changes is required in the code. So this is basic metrics. When you do the metrics, it shows all the metrics here. So from here, one of the thing I'm interested, right? Let's say you saw here vector database. That's what we were trying to do when we were doing RAG system. So vector operations, we just copy this, put it after the metrics, and then we see this. Okay, now I have vector database information here, the type of database, operations, base unit, how many count, and total time it took, maximum time one request or query or operation took, errors, and all those things, operation names. So these are the two operations performed. So this I already did, and that's we can see. So you can actually do the query and all those things, and it should show up here. This is AI client operation. So this has count of like, okay, this many operations, time taken, total time taken, max value, and all these informations. You can just look at this name, embeddings, response. So if you remember MXPAI, embedded large, all these things, these are all information. So there are a lot of information. We need to know what look at these operations and what our interest is. I think this is one of the most interesting topic to look at uses, right? So this is count, this many tokens were used, and then all the information about the model use and all these things, what type of token were used, output, input, total, all these things, and then system, right? These things are used in chat and embeddings. I'll show you how to dig inside this one. Okay, I want to see how many token was used for output. For that, let's go here, and then if you just do the tag name from here, get the tag name, this one, and do the query parameter question mark tag, then that tag name, then the field you want to look at. This is type. Okay, output, you want to know how many token was used, so 122, and other information. You can go inside this and again do that tag and other information if you want to use. Okay, I was interested to know output, and I have input here. Similar thing for input token, this was the number. So this is to optimize input and output. Sometimes we just have a lot of input, unnecessary text and things like that. When it consumes a lot of tokens, we need to try to minimize those because these costs, right? When you use frontier models, it costs. The cost is based on the token usage. So we need to try to minimize this. So that's why these informations are pretty important. So these are total tokens, right? And so this is based on another thing I was interested to know, advisor, advisor, how much time, right? And total time for one query, max time was this one, name was simple. I hope you remember advisors we use, right? All operations, memory advisors, and these things. Basically, let's go and see this one too. If I do this one, similar to tag, and then do this one and colon, and then let's look at this one, right? What is there now for call? This is the time taken, this is the max time taken, and then operation framework was Spring AI kind, advisor, error tags, and all this information that we want to look at. Basically we go to the metrics and figure out actuator is the first endpoint, and metrics health, whatever is the interesting information we want to look at, we can deep dive into it, right? So let me show you the code changes. So I took the branch from RAG that we did earlier, so you can do the same thing and branch out new branch called observability. So I'll be pushing this code anyway, right? You'll have the code to look at. The first thing you want to make a change is add the actuator. If you haven't, you need the actuator for that actuator endpoints. After that, what I would do is make this property change and add health and metrics for now. I will come to Prometheus in later part. So there are other configuration, don't worry about that. Just do health and metrics for now, and you should be able to view all the information I just showed. This is for your information flow. This is for metrics, logs, analyzing what is happening with the system. This would be very important when your application goes to production. Again, this is not just AI related. This can be with any Spring Boot application. Let's do this much for today. Bye.